evidence in case number 2011-2340. This is probably one of the most brutal cases, violent cases I've ever witnessed in my 28 years as a prosecutor. On July 17, 2011, law enforcement got an anonymous tip that there had been a double homicide in Port St. Lucie.
It was 2011 and my friend Tyler picked me up to take me to a party at his house. Tyler told me earlier that day that he was gonna have a party because his parents were going out of town.
It was right around 1:15 in the afternoon when Tyler first put the Facebook post up, "Party at my crib, hit me up." It was one of those things that once he started putting it on Facebook, then the word just started spreading. People just started showing up.
There was no parents around. We had a house to ourselves. We were having a good time.
I came from the bottom, yeah, them streets wicked. I know you see me in the top, cause I'm really real. I came from the bottom, Mobile, Alabama. So what you want, my killers locked up in that slammer.
And none of them had any idea by the next morning they were going to be hearing that this was the scene of a horrific double homicide. One of the pieces of evidence in this case was a receipt from McDonald's.
The McDonald's receipt was recovered in a search of the victim's car. It was an integral link in establishing the timeline for the murder.
It actually proved the victims arrived at the house before the party ever started. Tyler comes over and gets Mike and says, "Come outside."
Tyler wanted to talk to me about something serious. He took me to the stop sign and told me he did something really stupid. After Tyler told me that he did something stupid, I asked him what he did. And he told me that he killed his parents.
And Mike, I think, just flat didn't believe him at first. But the more that Tyler talked and the more he started sharing specific details about how this crime occurred, Mike started to change his mind.
Tyler told me, look at the driveway, all the cars are there. My parents never left. I still didn't believe him. He told me to look by his parents' bedroom.
Law enforcement discovered the knife in the bedroom of the house under a mass of household goods.
I thought to myself, I have to know, is this real?
Mike walked around to the back of the house where he had access to the parents' bedroom, the master bedroom, through a door out to the pool patio.
I pushed really hard on his parents' bedroom door and it opened. I used the flashlight on my phone and I looked inside the room and I saw his dad's leg. I couldn't believe my eyes. Bloody blankets, sheets, the dinner table, all kinds of various things from around the house, just piles and piles. It looked like a junkyard. I thought to myself, this is really happening. Tyler really killed his parents.
There was an allegation of somebody using a knife in the commission of this murder.
But the cops pretty quickly dismissed that idea because of other evidence that they found and the wounds that they found on both of the victims.
We found a claw hammer in the house that we ultimately determined to be the murder weapon. Now, this is not just your regular household claw hammer. This is a 17-inch framing hammer, the claws of which stick straight off the back. I mean, this is an impressive item to be wielded as a weapon.
The hammer was found on the floor in between his parents, underneath all of that junk that they were buried under.
The hammer contained massive amounts of blood. You could see hair and skull fragments and skin material in the head of the hammer. The level of violence that we had in this case was something beyond the pale. We followed the overwhelming amount of physical evidence collected by law enforcement in this case to reach the inevitable conclusion that, armed with a claw hammer, Tyler Hadley murdered his parents in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner.
He took it upon himself to start telling me how he did it. He told me he stood behind his mom for more than 5 minutes while she was playing video games on the computer, wondering if he should hit her or not. He hit her on the back of the head with the hammer.
She began to scream, which then caused his father to come out of the bedroom. And the defendant then turned on Mr. Hadley. Mr. Hadley was struck 39 times with that hammer.
He told me after he was done cleaning up, before he took a shower, he looked at himself in the mirror and started laughing. I don't think he knew why he did it.
Not only did Tyler Hadley drag Mike into the middle of this, but he kind of committed a psychological bludgeoning of Michael Mandel as well.
One of the most chilling things about this case is all of these kids are at this party, but if they would have looked a little closer, they would have seen some blood spatter on the floorboard. They would have seen some on the walls. At the heart of it, though, this was a horrific crime scene where behind a locked door, the two victims were dead, buried under a pile of stuff. And yet none of these kids for hours had any idea until the news broke the next day.
And the only logical conclusion you can render is there's evil in this world. You have to accept the fact that there are people who are capable of unspeakable evil. And it's not anybody else's fault. It's simply how they're constructed.